Coming your way live from the Pipe Yard in Lorain for our very first baseball broadcast on the Lorain County Sports Network, live and free on YouTube this afternoon on a chilly yet sunny afternoon here at the Pipe Yard in Lorain. The Titans will play host to the Elyria Pioneers. So happy to have this one for you. Andy Bolbarch joined alongside Jared Vinecourt. We've got Edwin Vereen, the captain of our ship, he's directing today, and David Q manning the camera. Lorain comes in 2-6 altogether, 2-0 in Lake Erie League action. Elyria enters 1-5, 0-4 in the SWC. Jared, great to be joined by you, and well, it's a little cold out here today, but this time of year, you've got to get these games in whenever you can.
Of course, this is a reschedule from April 5th. This was supposed to be the first game of the Spring Classic. So both these teams trying to get this game in as we get down the stretch for the rest of the season.
In just a few moments, the managers and the umpires will get together at home plate. They'll exchange lineup cards and go through all of the proper specs and special instructions. While they're doing that, we could take a look at the starting lineups for today's game. I'll go ahead and take the visiting Elyria Pioneers, and I'll let you take a look at the Lorain Titans. We mentioned Elyria's record before, 1-5 altogether, 0-4 in league play. Cody Stipe will lead off. He's the shortstop. Batting second, the catcher, J.J. Bucky. Batting third, the pitcher, Harlem Mallory, cleaning up. And manning the hot corner will be Nate Taylor. Second baseman, Braden Barbie will hit fifth in the sixth spot. Ryan Chevalier is the first baseman. Right fielder Rocco Schneider in the seventh spot, hitting eighth in center field, Steve Mayer. And rounding out the lineup is the DH, Maurice Stone. In left field will be Teo Perez, but not hitting for the Pioneers.
Let's take a look at the Lorain Titans lineup. Leading off will be the shortstop, Derek Encarnacion. Batting second, the pitcher, Tracy Huff. Batting third, the third baseman, Xavier Carrion. Batting cleanup, the right fielder, Noah Bennett. Batting fifth, the second baseman, Joey Hall Jr. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Preston Whitfield. Playing left field and batting seventh, Jacob Rivera. Batting eighth, the catcher, Brandon Perez. And rounding out the starting nine for the Titans, the center fielder, Jack Seal Colaza.
Let's take a closer look at the pitching matchup for this one. I want to take a look at Tracy Huff, who gets the ball for the Lorain Titans. This will be his third start of the season, and he's a guy that's got some pretty good numbers. You know, the win-loss record, I think you can kind of throw that out the window. He's got a sub-2 ERA. It's at a .97. And Coach Brad Turnus was telling us that he throws four pitches. He's got confidence in all four of those: a fastball, breaking ball, changeup, and a slider. And one of the things Coach Turnus mentioned was that he feels very good about calling any single one of those pitches in any count. Doesn't throw incredibly hard, low 70s. That's where his velo tops out for his fastball. But again, he can throw all of those pitches for strikes. And he will be opposed by a lefty in this one for the Elyria Pioneers, a guy that can certainly bring it. Harlem Mallory, he's 0-1 with an ERA of .450 on the season. And I thought it was fascinating talking with Elyria head coach Jordan Connell about him. Mallory's the only lefty they have on the staff. Throws a lot of breaking balls, relies on his two-seam fastball a lot. And that's a pitch that's picking up more steam in high school baseball. I think kids are beginning to figure out just how to make that thing dance. And it's nice if you've got that to go along with a good straight-up four-seam fastball.
Especially when the two-seam tails away from the hitters in the outside corner.
Yeah, no question about that. And I mean, it'll be interesting to see if he's able to harness that today, because if he's able to spot that, that could be a long afternoon for the Lorain Titans if he can figure out a way to place that. Well, coming into this one, we mentioned the records, and I almost feel like you can kind of throw that out the window. I mean, I think one thing that we'll talk about a lot here today, Jared, is the fact that both teams have had a real hard time, as many teams in this area have. It's just getting into a groove, right? You know, just trying to find some sort of rhythm, because one week you might play 4 days in a row, the next week you might not play at all.
Yeah, it's hard to get in a rhythm with Northeast Ohio weather. I mean, last week it was 70 degrees, and now today it's 40, feels like 30-something. So the weather just keeps going up and down. Tomorrow is supposed to be in the 60s. Friday it's supposed to be in the 70s. So I'm sure some teams, not only these two teams, are either going to be playing at least one game, maybe two, to make up from the early showers we had this April.
Elyria coming off back-to-back losses at the hands of the North Ridgeville Rangers. As a matter of fact, North Ridgeville had quite the day offensively yesterday. And, you know, look, these are conditions that are traditionally very difficult to hit in. And I think a lot of pitchers will tell you they love pitching in these conditions simply because guys don't like hitting in it. It's just tough to get comfortable in the box.
Yeah, North Ridgeville's offense surged the last 2 days. Yesterday they scored 18 runs against this Elyria Pioneers team, and then the day before that they had 8 runs. So even though the weather doesn't permit offense, the Rangers showed that yesterday against these Pioneers.
Another theme for both teams early on in the season, they would both love to get a lot better defensively. You know, we're not going to dive too deep into the numbers because they've played just over a handful of games, but both coaches mentioned, look, we've got to do the best we can to make sure that big innings don't become an avalanche and have an effect on these guys where they're taking an error into the dugout and then bringing that back out into the box. And it's an easy thing for us here to say you have to kind of let that play go, but I think it's tough for high schoolers to do that.
You don't want to have a domino effect with the infield and the outfield, and you have to have communication. Shortstop is in control of the infield, center fielder is in control of the outfield, and hopefully both teams can do that here today to get a W.
Umpires for this one, we mentioned the starting lineup. No lineup is complete unless you're talking about the officials involved in the game. Todd Miller will call the balls and strikes in this one. Matt St. Marie will patrol the bases. Good old Saint told us out in the parking lot that he's been doing this 30 years now. And he told us he was over in Sandusky yesterday, freezing cold. And he had the dish last night. But you said when it's this cold out, you prefer to call balls and strikes, right?
Yeah, I'm an umpire myself. I prefer to do the plate when it's colder like this. When it's in June and July, I do not like to do the plate. So it comes with the territory.
Here's Cody Stipe to lead things off for the Elyria Pioneers. We're excited about this. Our first venture into the high school baseball world. We're looking forward to calling this one for you. Tracy Huff, ready to rock and roll. He'll deal from the stretch. First pitch of the game on the way, and he misses upstairs the fastball, and it begins at ball 1. First pitch delivered at 4:51. We're in the shade, in the sunshine. It's actually quite comfortable. About a 10, maybe 15-degree difference. Huff deals, and he puts a belt-tie fastball in there for a called strike, evening things at 1-1 on Cody Stipe. Stipe, shortstop, swinging from the right side, facing the lefty Huff, who's had a pretty nice year to this point. The pitch swung on and missed, and now he's in the driver's seat, a ball and 2 strikes on Stipe. Setting up that Lorain defense, Jacob Rivera in left, Jaxiel Calaza in center. Noah Bennett over in right. We'll take a look at the infield after the 1-ball, 2-strike offering from Huff. This is hit in the air. Shallow left center field coming out in center. Calaza, he dives, he can't get to it. That'll get down for a base hit. So Cody Stipe will start the party with a single and a shallow left center. And the Pioneers have a base runner 4 pitches into this game.
And head coach Jordan Connell is so excited that Stipe is in this lineup finally, coming back from an injury, and he's just surged offensively since he's returned from injury.
1 on, nobody out for the catcher, J.J. Bucky. We promised that we would set up that Lorain defense on the infield. We'll do that in just a moment. After Tracy Huff's first pitch to J.J. Bucky, he's able to get that one in for a called strike. At third base, Xavier Carrion, Derek Encarnacion, the shortstop for the Titans, Joey Hall playing second, Preston Whitfield at first, and Brandon Perez is behind home plate. Tracy Huff, hands below the belt, pitch swung on and hit in the air. Down the line and left, this is quickly hooking foul, and it gets out of play. And Jerry, what Tracy Huff is doing early on here is what a lot of pitchers will do under these conditions. He's getting ahead early.
And it seems like early he's using the top of the zone, trying to get the Pioneers hitters to chase up high.
I haven't been to this facility in many years. This is my first look at this turf surface. I mean, this whole entire facility seems like it's gone through a magical transformation. Next offering, fastball called, strike 3. A 3-pitch strikeout for Tracy Huff. He's able to get J.J. Bucky looking 1 on and 1 gone now for Harlem Mallory. Well, it's a turf infield and a natural grass outfield. And it seems like the grass is doing okay. considering the conditions. I don't know that anything is in tip-top shape this time of year. Huff deals. Breaking ball, cuts across the inside corner, a called strike.
They do a tip-top shape of keeping the pipe yard in playing condition. They do tournaments from April all the way to August, so they do a lot to keep this field ready to play every day.
Huff out in front, 0-1. A quick throw over to first base, but it doesn't quite get there in time. Facing his counterpart in Harlem Mallory, who's batting third and pitching today. Got a bit of a late arriving crowd, but we still see a few people entering the grandstand here at the pipe yard. Fastball misses upstairs, evening things at 1-1 on Harlem Mallory. Elyria, we mentioned, coming in off back-to-back losses against North Ridgeville. Other end of the spectrum, though, Lorain coming in after winning their first 2 games of the season, taking care of Garfield Heights the last 2 nights. 1-1 pitch hit in the air in left field. Jacob Rivera has a pretty good beat on it, dives, but he can't come up with it. It'll get down in left field, and they're going to throw up the stop sign for Cody Stipe at second base. So Harlem Mallory has the second hit of the inning. A good effort by Jacob Rivera to try and track that down in left field. But despite that effort, it's still a base hit. And now the Pioneers threatening here with 2 on and 1 gone for the third baseman, Nate Taylor. Tracy Huff will take a long, hard look at second base before the first pitch. Swung on and tapped foul. Another thing to note, Tracy Huff was done with his warm-up tosses, Jared, I think about at least 10 minutes before this game began.
He's locked in. He was the LEL Pitcher of the Year last season, and he's looking to do that again in his senior campaign.
0-1. Backdoor breaking ball called strike 2. Boy, early on, he's been able to throw all of his pitches for strikes, and you're beginning to see the confidence that Coach Turnus told us about yesterday in all 4 of those pitches.
And you're seeing the humongous break in his curveball. I don't think the Pioneers hitters are ready for that yet.
We mentioned Huff, a sub-2 ERA, sitting at a .97 entering this one. 0-2 pitch, swung on, popped him up on the infield. Middle infield coming together. It's the shortstop, Derek Encarnacion, who makes the catch. Infield fly rule in a play. So now with 2 on and 2 gone, Braden Barbie will enter the batter's box. Barbie, left-handed hitter, facing the lefty Tracy Huff, trying to work himself out of this early jam he's gotten himself into. He can get out of it unharmed, but he's got 1 more out to get. Fastball tapped foul. We discussed how he's been able to pound the strike zone so far. 14 pitches and a dozen of those for strikes.
And that's going to be key for Lorain here today. They're building the rest of their pitching staff, so if you can get ahead in the count early, you might not need to go to the bullpen as early as you think.
And Coach Turnus really hoping to avoid that. The next offering swung on and grounded right side of the infield. That's going to sneak through for a base hit. Stipe rounding third. He's going to try to score. Here's the throw from Bennett in right field. It won't get there in time. It's a 2-out RBI base hit for Braden Barbie. And the Pioneers draw first blood. They've got a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first.
And that's huge for the Pioneers. Haven't been scoring lately offensively. Just what they needed to get the momentum started here in the first inning.
Well, this afternoon's contest brought to you by Linda Weber for Judge. Certainly want to thank Linda Weber for sponsoring this one, giving us the opportunity to come out here at the Pipe Yard to call this one our first baseball broadcast. Elyria with the early edge here, 1-0 on the strength of 3 base hits from Cody Stipe, Harlem Mallory, and Braden Barbie. Here's Ryan Chevalier. Runner takes off for second base. Huff will throw down to second, and they won't get him. I think they were certainly focused on making sure they kept Harlem Mallory at bay over at third. And as a result of that, Barbie steals second.
Yeah, that Barbie was just trying to get himself out there, force a distraction to get Mallory home at third to steal a run right there, but Huff and the Titans infield didn't fall for it.
The next pitch hit on the ground toward short. Encarnacion charging, digs it up, dishes to first base. A real nice stretch over at first base by Preston Whitfield, and they get him. And now, hold on a second. Elyria head coach Jordan Connell wants to come out, and I think he's talking to the home plate umpire. He wants the umpires to come together, Todd Miller and Matt St. Marie, because maybe Todd Miller had a better look at that, and he might have a chance to overturn that.
See, that's what's bad about being the field umpire and having a two-man crew. You're in the C position, and you can't see the play at first. And his foot did come off the bag with that stretch. So a key call and a key run for the Pioneers, and they're still alive with this rally here in the first.
So they have overturned the call. The umpires come together. Todd Miller at home plate had a better look at that, and he was able to overturn the call of Matt St. Marie. So it ends up being another base hit. Ryan Chevalier is aboard. That plates another one, and that makes it 2-0 Elyria.
Elyria are already with 4 singles here in the inning.
And I think when you look at that, you're probably thinking, boy, that it doesn't seem that difficult, but on a day like this where it's really tough, you're trying to stay loose, you're charging in to get to that ball as fast as you can. Those plays are never easy. And that ball took its time on this turf getting down to short. First pitch misses high and away to Rocco Schneider, a sophomore getting the start today. As a matter of fact, we didn't see him on that varsity roster as of 24 hours ago, so he's getting a chance here to bat 7th for the Pioneers. Runner takes off for second. Huff steps off the mound, looked toward third, and did not even make an attempt to throw down to second base. So Chevalier's on second. Barbie remains at third.
And with 2 outs here, if you're Lorain, you're just trying to get this out, get out of the inning, get your bats rolling.
Huff deals. He missed down low. A good stop by the catcher, Brandon Perez, to keep that from going to the backstop. A 2-0 count now on Rocco Schneider, 7th batter of the inning. Steve Mayer waits in the on-deck circle. Tracy Huff ready at the belt. He releases. This is hit in the air to left field. Jacob Rivera underneath it. He'll make the catch, and the inning is over. However, the Pioneers do some damage, all with 2 outs. They get a couple of RBI base hits from Braden Barbie and Ryan Chevalier, and they lead Lorain 2-0 after a half inning of action. Titans coming to bat after this on the Lorain County Sports Network. It's an early 2-0 lead for the Elyria Pioneers over the Lorain Titans. Derek Encarnacion, Tracy Huff, and Xavier Carrion due up for the Titans as they try and chip away at this early 2-0 advantage. 2-out thunder for the Pioneers produced both of their runs in the top half of the first inning. Harlem Mallory, a lefty on the slab for the Pioneers. Glove out in front of his face. He'll go from the wide before delivering to Encarnacion. Here's the first pitch in the home half of the first inning. It's cut out and missed for strike one.
And Encarnacion was trying to send that to left field behind the fence on that swing.
Mallory, the only lefty on Coach Connell's staff. He fires, and this pitch just popped up. Shallow center, backing up at short, Cody Stipe. He's called off by the center's fielder, Steve Mayer, who's able to haul that in. So the first batter in the home half of the first retired on 2 pitches. One down now for Tracy Huff. Mallory throws a lot of breaking balls, relies on that 2-seam fastball. He's got a slider as well. Also throws a straight-up 4-seam that tops out right around 78 miles an hour. The pitch to Huff is taken down too low, 1-0, and one of the issues he's had early on is his command, and Coach Connell had said that he's kind of had that early on in his outing, and what they're trying to do to circumvent that is get him to focus a bit more on his bullpen before the game, so that way when he gets out there on the bottom or top of the first inning, he's fresh and ready to go. Next pitch, cut out and missed for strike one. I will say, I watched some of his bullpen about 15 minutes ago. He was hitting his spots. He looked pretty good.
He's working on his not only his command, but his mindset as well. He's been walking guys early in his starts. He's walked 11 batters this year. He's trying to minimize those walks in his third start of the season.
In comes the 1-1. It's upstairs, ball 2. It's an interesting mix he throws. And we're in a decent spot where we should be able to see a little bit of that 2-seam action from here. He acknowledges J.J. Bucky and delivers. He misses up and away, and now he's behind 3-1 on Tracy Huff.
I mentioned about Huff on the defensive side. Offensively this season, batting .263 for the Titans.
3-1, and he misses outside again. That's ball 4, so a 5-pitch free pass. And now they've got a runner on with 1 away for Xavier Carrion. Now, he was a late addition. Eligibility issues kept him from being on the opening day roster, and even though he's only been with the team for a couple of games, he has made a profound impact offensively. Lefty-lefty battle. First pitch is down too low. It's 1-0.
3 hits in 3 games, and he's got big power on the left side of the plate. He's a dangerous hitter for the Titans, and they're so glad he's able to finally be on their official roster.
Yeah, just his 5th game. Throw back over to first base doesn't get there in time. Like a lot of these Lorain Titans, we had asked him about some of their interests, favorite teams, favorite athletes. He's a Guardians fan, but Nolan Arenado is his favorite big league ball player. Well, he's a third baseman, right? Guess that makes sense. The next pitch popped him up, foul ground, third base side. Nate Taylor chasing after it. He's got some room, but he can't make the catch that landed behind him in foul ground.
And Taylor was near that fence by the Titans dugout. He wanted to make sure he had room and didn't run to that fence. Didn't know how much real estate he had, and that's what ultimately made the ball drop in foul ground. So Carrion gets another chance.
Well, this venue is a bit unique when you compare it to the other high school facilities in the area, in that there's a lot of ground to cover in foul territory. At most high school fields, you don't have that much ground at your disposal in foul territory.
Or a backstop as well. I mean, this backstop is huge here at the Pipe Yard.
Yeah, wild pitches can turn in 2 bases. The 2-1, a cut and a miss for strike 2. Had him way out in front that time.
I think Carrion was sitting fastball there. Didn't see the off speed from Mallory earlier in the count.
Mallory been keeping a close eye on Huff over at first base. 2-ball, 2-strike pitch, missed low and in. Runner takes off for second. The throw down there doesn't quite get there in time. It got there on a hop and on the right side of the bag at second. So Huff has the stolen bag. Titans have one in scoring position. And back at the plate, it's a full count on Xavier Carrion. Noah Bennett waits in the on-deck circle. Here's the payoff. Swung on and hit pretty well into center field. Steve Mayer is there. He'll take care of it. Huff tagging at second on his way to third. The throw doesn't get there in time. So a productive out for Carrion as he's able to advance Huff over to third. They've got one 90 feet away with 2 gone for Noah Bennett.
And a good strong throw by the center fielder, Steve Mayer. He had to make a perfect throw to get Huff out at third, but nothing the center fielder could really do there.
Noah Bennett trying to get the Titans on the board. Down 2-0 here to Elyria. Pioneers scored twice with 2 outs. And the top of the first inning, they'll appeal to see if the runner left second early. And he did not. Mallory remains in the stretch. A long pause, and he delivers. And he's able to get one in at the knees for a strike on Bennett. Pretty good lead over at third for Tracy Huff. Reached on a walk earlier here in the home half of the first. The next pitch is in too tight to even things at 1-1. Coach Connell had mentioned to us yesterday that he really feels like the record is a bit misleading. They've been plagued by just one bad inning here and there. Fastball up high, and it's 2-1, and he feels like they're getting ready to turn that corner. He said, we'll play 6 really good innings, but we just have that one bad inning where things spiral out of control, and either it ruins some momentum from earlier in the game, or it's something that happens early on and we can't recover from it. Next pitch, a swing and a miss for strike 2.
They've only played 6 games up to this point, and they have a game tomorrow against Chagrin Falls, and then they have another conference matchup in Avon Lake. All 3 winnable games coming up for the Pioneers. They just have to play defensively sound very well and continue to hit offensively like they did in the first inning.
2-ball, 2-strike pitch from Mallory. Swing and a miss, strike 3, got him. He's able to put him away to end the inning, and the Titans will leave one stranded at third. So at the end of one, Elyria leads Lorain 2-0 here at the Pipe Yard on the Lorain County Sports Network. top half of the second inning. It's an early 2-0 lead for Elyria over Lorain. 8-9-1 batters due up. Steve Mayer, Maurice Stone, and Cody Stipe to face Tracy Huff. Huff allowed a pair of runs on 4 hits back in the first inning. 2-out thunder for the Pioneers. They were able to get 2-out base hits that produced runs from Braden Barbie and Ryan Chevalier. He's Jared Vinecourt. I'm Andy Bull-Barch. Trying to stay warm here at the pipe yard.
I need hand warmers. That's what I need. And hot cocoa.
They shut down the concession stands, man. Huff's first pitch of the second inning. They show bunt, pull it back, and it's in there for a strike on Steve Mayer. Our thanks to today's sponsor, Linda Weber for Judge. We're sponsoring this one. Enjoying some high school baseball. Our first stab at this on the Lorain County Sports Network. The next pitch is hit on the ground down to third base. Knocked down by Carrion. He picks it back up, but he has no play over at first base. So Steve Mayer is aboard. Just 2 pitches into the inning, and well, Jared, it looked like Carrion had time to make that play. That ball just kind of ate him up on the exchange.
And we mentioned at the top of the hour, it's only his 5th game, so he still has to get used to the hot corner, but a routine ground ball, you got to make that if you're Carrion.
Leadoff man is aboard, second inning in a row, and here is Maurice Stone. Stone, the DH in this one. Tracy Huff will have to work with the man on first base here early on. Runner takes off for second. Nice pickoff move. They'll throw down to second base, and they've got Mayer hung up in a rundown, and he's tagged off with the shortstop, Derek Encarnacion. We promised Coach Turnus we wouldn't mention it too early in the broadcast, but he did say yesterday, look, Tracy Huff has a really good pickoff move, and that's helped us a lot control the running game, and it was on display there a few moments ago.
And I think for high school baseball, you're just so happy to get on base. You almost forget about the pickoff move, especially at first when you have that lefty, and the Pioneers' leadoff man is erased.
That wipes away the E5 that allowed the leadoff man to reach. The delivery to Maurice Stone. Got him with a backdoor breaking ball called strike 1. One thing you notice about Tracy Huff, he's only allowed 3 earned runs in his first couple of starts this season. This is his 3rd altogether. He's given them a lot of length. Entering today's game, an out shy of 11 innings pitched. Tried to sneak one in on the inner half, but it missed a bit too much, so it's 1-1.
And he's only walked 3 batters as well. So you know he's getting in the strike zone against no matter what team he faces.
Yeah, just three walks, 8 strikeouts. They'll set up on the outer half. The next pitch is hit right back to the mound, and it's caught by Tracy Huff. Then he dropped it, picks it back up, and he throws over to first base to take care of Maurice Stone. For a moment, looked like it was going to be a line out. He kind of snow coned that, then it rolled out of the webbing of his glove.
And you've seen that over the course and all over baseball. A lot more line drives that pitchers have caught this season. And Huff almost corralled that one, but able to still get the out at first.
2 outs rather quickly. Back to the top of the order now for Cody Stipe. First pitch, swung on and missed for strike 1. Had him way out in front. Stipe got things going tonight on a base hit to center field. He'd later come around to score on an RBI single from Braden Barbie. All part of that 2-run first inning for the Pioneers. They lead Lorain 2-0 here at the top of the second. Next pitch, hit in the air to center field. Jack C.L. Colaza going back. That's over his head. He can't catch up to it. That goes all the way to the wall. And Cody Stipe will slide into second base. He's got a double to keep this second inning alive.
And that ball just continued to carry into center field. But Colaza has to make sure that he takes that first step back. He went forward to start off, and that's what messed up his route in trying to stop that ball from hitting the wall.
Here's J.J. Bucky. Went down looking at a called third strike his first time up. That's 5 hits now, surrendered by Tracy Huff, but that's the first one for extra bases. On an evening that's this cold, you don't get the impression we're going to see one put out of here, but you never know. The ball typically doesn't fly all that well this time of year. Next pitch, hit on the ground towards short. Charging at short, Encarnacion makes the pick, throws over to first base, and they will retire Bucky to end the inning. So the Pioneers do get a 2-out double from Cody Stipe, but nothing more. After 1.5, it's still 2-0 Elyria over Lorain here at the Pipe Yard on the Lorain County Sports Network. Pioneers 2, Titans nothing as we get set to begin the bottom of the second. Due up for the Lorain Titans, batters 5, 6, and 7. Joey Hall, Preston Whitfield, and Jacob Rivera to face Harlem Mallory. Mallory worked most of that first inning from the stretch with a runner on as he walked Tracy Huff, but he was able to work right around that. Huff was left stranded at third base after he struck out Noah Bennett to end the frame. It was a 19-pitch inning for Harlem Mallory. He twirls the first one here in the second. It misses outside and low for a ball. Joey Hall mentioned his favorite athletes are Ray Lewis and Kyrie Irving. An interesting combination. Next pitch is fouled away to the right.
Especially because both those athletes didn't play baseball.
Yeah, and, you know, geez, Ray Lewis has been retired for a while now. It's been over 10 years.
And I never loved Ray Lewis for football. I loved him for wrestling because in 1989, he was a high school state champion in Florida for wrestling.
Ground ball hit towards short. Backhand stop by Cody Stipe. He throws over to first base, a high throw that goes over the head of Ryan Chevalier. And the runner is aboard that actually went out of play down to our right. And that's going to put Joey Hall on second. Well, here is where you really test the mettle of a pitcher, right? After a bit of a defensive mishap, can you bear down and try and minimize the damage?
And that's what you alluded to earlier, Andy. One error leads to another, and it's a domino effect for this Pioneers squad. One bad inning, and it all goes to badness for the Pioneers.
Preston Whitfield, the batter. First pitch, he shows bunt, gets a piece of it, but it goes foul.
And Whitfield's a speedy guy. I got to imagine that even though he's trying to complete the sacrifice here, he's trying to get on base for a hit as well. He's not your typical first baseman. He's not a big powered first baseman. He's more of a speedy guy.
You're right. Very different. He's not the prototype, as they call it. You saw that moments ago, trying to lay the bunt down there, keeping the defense on their toes. Mallory with a look towards second before the next pitch. He pounds the strike zone. He's ahead 0-2 on Whitfield. Whitfield mentioned that after high school, he wants to dive in the Army, and he also loves aquatic animals. An interesting combination.
I'm a big swordfish guy. I like swordfish. Interesting creatures.
Yeah, that came from out of nowhere.
I don't know. They're just fascinating, you know. They don't bother anyone. They're just living their life.
Fastball misses up high, and it's 2-2. They taste really good, too, for whatever that's worth.
Well, keep me away from sharks and whales. I do not mess with those aquatic animals. Too big, too scary for me. I can deal with a jellyfish. Thank God I haven't been stunned by one.
Yeah, avoid that at all possible costs. Deuces are wild. Here it comes. It misses high again. The count runs full. Things have changed here rather quickly. Mallory was up 0-2 on Whitfield, but he's missed with 3 straight pitches. Joey Hall with a pretty good lead away from second base. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the second. Time called at the plate. Whitfield got his left hand up just in time to get the attention of home plate umpire Todd Miller before he stepped away.
And sometimes umpires don't grant time. Whitfield just got in the nick of time.
Stipe, the shortstop, creeping behind the runner at second. The next pitch is hit foul. He got just enough of that to stay alive.
And off the foul ball, I believe it went above Bucky's mitt, not able to secure that for the out.
Real nice at bat here for Preston Whitfield. Coming up on the 7th pitch of this battle. Mallory, a long pause, he deals. And he misses low and inside. Runner takes off for third. The throw down there doesn't get there in time. It was left in the bag. A nice job by Nate Taylor to go on the foul ground to keep that from going into left field. Joey Hall steals third. Whitfield with the 7-pitch free pass. And now the Titans have runners at the corners with nobody out for Jacob Rivera.
And Bucky wasn't paying attention to Hall as he stole third base. And Whitfield threw his bat towards the third base dugout. He's lucky when he threw it to third, it didn't hit that bat, or that could have been interference.
Quick throw over to first base, but Whitfield's able to get back safely.
Because it doesn't happen often, but you see it once in a blue moon. You throw it to third, it hits the batter's bat or helmet or whatever it may be.
Another throw back over to first, same result. And it doesn't look like he's got a huge lead over at first base, but Mallory's very well aware of Whitfield's ability to run. First offering, missed off the outside half of the plate for a ball.
Whitfield only has 1 steal on the year, but I think Lorain wants to take a page out of Elyria's playbook. We saw them purposely run to second to get into a pickle so that runner could score from third base. Could see that here from the Titans.
The 1-0 delivery, runner takes off. This is hit foul back this direction and out of play. Smacked off the roof of the grandstand. Probably sent a scare to the boys back there. We've got no sympathy for those guys. They're inside right now, man. Fastball, cut on and missed for strike 2. Only challenged him that time. Tried to get him to climb the ladder.
If you're Mallory here, you need your go-to pitch. You need a strikeout here to get the first out of the inning.
He's yet to surrender a hit. A long stare down at first. 1-2, missed up high.
And they went to that same location. Try to get him to chase that high fastball again.
He's issued 2 walks. And then Joey Hall reached on the air to begin the inning. Hall over at third. Whitfield remains at first base. Another pickoff attempt to first, but Whitfield gets back safely. You can see the flag beyond the wall in right field here blowing out, and I think that's a little deceiving. It's not nearly as windy today as it was yesterday. The winds really kind of died down. The 2-2. He missed inside, and the count runs full.
Oh, the wind was atrocious yesterday. I had patio chairs flown off my deck because of how strong it was.
It just felt like they were constant, too. Payoff pitch on the way. He misses low and away, ball 4, and that's back-to-back walks. And the Pioneers in a bit of a predicament here. The Titans have them loaded for the catcher, Brandon Perez. And we've got time called. They'll have a meeting at the mound. Well, the last two batters have seen a grand total of 13 pitches, so they've really made Harlow Mallory work.
And you got to wonder how long head coach Jordan Connell is going to keep Mallory in because, as we mentioned, they have a game against Chagrin Falls tomorrow, and then they have 2 games to start the week next week against Avon Lake. So you got to wonder, what does the bullpen look like for Elyria, especially with that doubleheader against Ridgeville the last 2 days?
Want to remind you, today's game brought to you by Linda Weber for Judge. Here on the Lorain County Sportsnet Network, we're happy to have you with us. He's Jared Vinecourt, Amanda Bullbarch. Edwin Breen, our director. David Q on the camera today. Game time temperature, right around 45 degrees. Although it all depends on where you're sitting. Probably feels more like 55 in the sunshine.
And 35 in the shade.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Here's Brandon Perez. A 2-0 Elyria lead, but Lorain threatening here in the second. The first pitch is up and away for a ball. Well, Mallory got himself into a bit of a groove in that first inning. Outside of the walk that he issued to Tracy Huff, he was pretty sharp. But he's had a tough time finding the strike zone here in the second. The next pitch, check swing, and that's fouled right back to the screen.
Good thing the net is in front of us because that might have been a catch and a souvenir for us, Andy. I don't got the hands like I used to, especially when they're freezing right now.
I never had the hands to begin with. I just trusted that net's going to do what it's supposed to do. Next pitch is low. A good stop with the catcher, J.J. Bucky, to get in front of that and keep it from going to the backstop. You had talked about that earlier. One of the things that makes this facility unique to high school anyways is the backstop that sits so far back. It gets past the catcher. You can get 2 bags out of that. Mallory's 2-1. At the knees for a called strike 2.
And that's an advantage for Lorain because they're used to playing with a backstop, and Elyria is not. So that could be something new for Bucky.
A few moments ago in that third base coach's box, head coach Brad Turnus telling Brandon Perez, you don't like it, find a way to waste it at least. Swing and a miss, strike 3, got him. Took something off at that time. That is a huge strikeout for Harlem Mallory.
The second one on the day, very much needed for the Pioneers. They get the first out of the inning.
And he had a battle back. He was behind 2-1. He's able to get Brandon Perez. 1 gone. Bases still loaded for Jaxiel Colaza. First pitch is up high for a ball. That was an eye-high fastball. Colaza, one of 2 recent additions. They're able to get 2 guys coming on after the start of the season. Next pitch, a swing and a miss. Eligibility issues kept them from being on the roster to start the season. Harlem Mallory seems like he's pitching with a little more confidence now. They'll show bunt. He gets the bunt done, goes right back to the mound. It's picked up by Mallory, throws to the plate. It doesn't get there in time. Joey Hall slides in safely. It was a bang-bang play at home plate. The ball popped out of the glove of J.J. Bucky, the catcher. And Lorain has their first run of the game. They take a bit of a gamble early on in this one.
Yeah, suicide squeeze in the second inning. You don't really see that early in the game, and it worked for perfection for the Titans, and they get on the scoreboard.
It's an unearned run because Joey Hall reached on the air to begin the inning. Not entirely sure how that would be scored. I think you'd probably call that a sacrifice, right? So what that means is right now, Mallory still hasn't allowed a hit in this game. The pitch to Derek Encarnacion. He misses up high. And it's 2-0.
When we talked with head coach Brad Turnus, he said Encarnacion, he's a leadoff man with high energy and good contact, good speed, and he loves him in this leadoff role.
The next pitch bounces to the plate, and the count quickly goes to 3-0 on Encarnacion. You're right, he mentioned he's really kind of been the fire starter for these guys. And you need that guy to set the tone at the top of the order. flew out to center field his first time up today. The pitch. He misses outside, ball 4. Third walk issued by Harlem Mallory in this inning. And his 4th altogether. A bases loaded free pass. And that's going to tie this game up at 2 apiece. And look, Jared, that's a good patient approach by Derek Encarnacion. He took 4 straight pitches. That last one was kind of close, but that's a nice patient approach. Getting a really good feel for the flow of this game, or this inning anyways. Here's Tracy Huff. Huff hits this on the ground down the first baseline. That goes foul.
You never help out the pitcher, especially when he's not able to locate right now.
This has been a real long inning for Harlem Mallory. He is about to throw his 30th pitch of the inning. This after he faced just 4 batters in the bottom of the first. The next one is fought off foul left side. That'll get out of play. Tracy Huff was the only base runner for the Titans in the first inning. He drew a 5-pitch free pass, eventually made his way over to third, but was later left stranded. 0-2, called strike 3. A real nice pitch by Harlem Mallory. That's 3 strikeouts for him. His first backwards K, a 3-pitch strikeout to get Tracy Huff. And here comes the 8th batter of the inning, and Xavier Carrion.
Huff didn't like that pitch. It was borderline at the knees, but you have to at least foul it off to stay alive, and he just looked and struck out.
Xavier Carrion flew out to center field back in the first inning. 2-2 ball game between Elyria and Lorain. Home half of the second. Mallory into the windup and the pitch. Inside and low, ball 2. Look, the way this inning has gone, if Mallory only allows 2 runs, you have to look at that as a bit of a win for Elyria. But he's not out of the woods just yet. Fastball, belt tie called to strike 1.
And even though the matchups say left on left is an advantage for Elyria, in high school, you don't really look at that much.
He fights off the 2-1 pitch, sending it foul. Yeah, you're right. That's not necessarily something that comes into play. I mean, I guess in college it sort of does, but really until you get to the pro level is really when it makes the biggest difference. You're right, in high school, the matchups don't make much of a difference. 2-2 to Carrion. He fights it off foul again. But one of the things you're seeing here, Jared, is his ability to cover the plate.
Carrion wasn't looking for fastball there. He was sitting off speed, and he did a good job of just spoiling that pitch to see another one.
Deuces remain wild on Carrion. Bennett waiting in the on-deck circle. Here it comes. It's up and away, and that'll be ball 3. So first at bat, we mentioned the fly out to center. That came on pitch number 6. He's going to see 7, at least, in this at bat.
And runners will be off on a 3-2 pitch.
There they go, and here it comes. In too tight, he got a piece of him, and that'll bring in the go-ahead run for the Titans. Jacob Rivera scores. Carrion hit by the pitch, and now Lorain has a 3-2 lead.
And it looked like there Mallory was trying to throw the off-speed inside, but he didn't get it inside enough, and Carrion gets a run home on the hit by pitch.
Tough inning for the Pioneers to this point. Mallory trying to work his way out of it. First pitch is up high, 1-0.
The 9th man to bat in the inning for the Titans.
By my count, that was pitch number 58 altogether for Harlem Mallory. The next one, cut on and missed for strike 1. A 40-pitch inning for Harlem Mallory, trying to work his way out of this second frame. The 1-1 is tapped foul.
I think they got a piece of Bucky's hand. Looks like he seems okay. And this is the common courtesy umpire Trout here. You see the home plate umpire walking to give the ball to the pitcher to make sure the catcher's okay.
Doesn't matter how hot or cold it is, that always hurts.
And sometimes the catcher does it for the umpire, because sometimes the umpire gets hit with foul balls, and they do not feel good. I've been there. It's not fun.
And these guys are sitting in the shadows behind the plate. So it's a little bit cooler where the umpire and the catcher are sitting. They're getting only a tiny bit of sunshine. Mallory's 1-2 spoiled foul right back to the screen.
And that could play a factor as the game moves on. You could see half of the pitch delivered from the pitcher in the sun and the other half in the shadow as it gets to home plate. They could play a factor for the hitters.
Another 1-2 from Harlan Mallory. This is hit in the air, right side of the infield. Braden Barbie, the second baseman, will take care of it. And then he dropped it, had it and lost it in right field. And that's going to bring 2 more home. Jaxiel Colaza scores along with Derek Encarnacion. Xavier Carrion goes from first to third. And Noah Bennett is aboard on the E4. And boy, this has turned into a tough inning for the Pioneers. 2 more come home, and here's Joey Hall, the guy that got it all started.
We talked about the domino effect. One error leads to another. 2 errors in the inning for the Pioneers. And now it's a 5-2 lead for the Titans.
Joey Hall standing in, swinging away. Runner takes off for second. The pitch caught on a miss for a strike. No throw down to second base. Noah Bennett will get down there on indifference. Next pitch is on the ground towards short. Backhand stop made by Cody Stipe. He throws to first. A low throw gets by Chevalier at first. Goes into foul territory. And that's going to plate another one. Actually, that'll plate 2. It looks like that ball went out of play. It did. 2 more come across. Xavier Carrion and Noah Bennett both score. Joey Hall will reach on the errant throw.
And this is only as to boost Lorain's confidence. They're just coming off 2 wins against Garfield Heights in the last 2 days, and they would love to get a win here before their next game against Valley Forge this Saturday.
Preston Whitfield, the batter, looks at one low and away for a ball. Your comment was spot on. You're talking about what Coach Connell had said to us yesterday. We just feel like every game we've had that one inning that sets us back. This particular frame, unfortunately for them, has lived up to that billing as the next one is spoiled foul to our right. That will get out of play. And they've had chances to put this inning away, just have not been able to do it. Doesn't seem like it was all that long ago that Mallory was a strike away from ending this inning in a 2-2 tie. Here's his 1-1. Runner takes off for third. The pitch in there for a strike. The throw down to third base gets there in plenty of time. And the third baseman, Nate Taylor, is able to tag out Joey Hall at third. A nice throw by J.J. Bucky to get him. And that brings us to the end of 2. Lorain able to put some really opportunistic offense together. They score 7 times here on the bottom of the second, and they lead Elyria 7-2 at the end of 2. Here on the Lorain County Sports Network. My, how things have changed as we enter the top half of the third. The Lorain Titans score 7 times without recording a hit. In the bottom of the second, they lead Elyria 7-2. As we get set to begin the third inning of action, Harlem Mallory, Nate Taylor, and Braden Barbie due up to face Tracy Huff. It's been a while since he was on the mound, but he, of course, was a part of the offense in that second inning, albeit he's a part of it that he'd like to forget as he went down looking at a called third strike that he did not agree with. But his offense able to have his back, scoring 7 times, and now he's working with a 5-run lead. Mallory with a base hit his first time up. In too tight, he got a piece of him. Mallory hit by a pitch. He'll fling the bat toward the on-deck circle and head on down to first base.
And that's not how you want to start the inning if you were the Titans. You just scored 7 on the board, and you have a 5-run lead. You need to put up a 0 here to get your offense back in the dugout to continue to score, but that's not how you want to start it.
Leadoff man is on for Nate Taylor. Taylor popped off the shortstop, Derek Encarnacion, in the first inning. Pioneers got both of their runs in the first on 2-out RBI base hits from Barbie and Chevalier. First pitch is hit pretty well in the deep left field. Jacob Rivera going back. That's over his head. On his way to third, Harlem Mallory. He's being waved around third. Here's the relay throw from Encarnacion. It is not in time. He slides in safely. Mallory scores all the way from first. Nate Taylor with the RBI triple. And the Pioneers respond in a big way after allowing 7 in the second. They're able to put one on the board immediately following to make it 7-3. And they've got a man on third and nobody out.
And we're really seeing the ball carry here. We saw a fly ball hitting center field early in the game, and it's also flying into left field as well. So the ball is carrying today, even though it is very cold.
Off speed, misses up and inside for a ball on Braden Barbie.
Did not expect that fly ball from Nate Taylor to carry that much in left field.
Lefty matchup. Huff's next offering is grounded foul first base side.
And this is the part of the lineup where the Pioneers got their runs. Barbie had an RBI single back in the first, and Chevalier, who's on deck, also had an RBI single in the first as well. So this is the heart of the order that's done the offense production so far.
They've got 6 hits in this game, 2 for extra bases. The 1-1, a wave and a miss. And Huff has the 1-ball, 2-strike advantage on Barbie. Barbie's RBI single came with 2 down of the first inning to score Cody Stipe. That plated the game's first run. Nate Taylor leads away from third. And Huff took a bit too much time to decide what he wanted to throw. Braden Barbie steps away from the plate for just a moment. I mentioned a little earlier today that these can be tough conditions to swing in for sure. Breaking ball, a wave and a miss for strike 3, drop third strike. It's picked up by the catcher Perez. They throw the runner out at first base. The throw back to the plate, bounces away from the dish, and it goes all the way to the backstop. So that'll plate another run. Nate Taylor will score. Braden Barbie goes down swinging. That'll be the second strikeout recorded by Huff tonight.
It was good heads-up base running by Nate Taylor. He went as soon as the ball was thrown to first base, uses his speed to steal a run for the Pioneers.
Nobody on and 2 out for Ryan Chevalier. Huff deals, and this one is hit in the air to right field. Bennett going back in right field. He can't get there. That's going to go all the way to the wall. On his way to second base, Chevalier, he'll get there standing up. Second hit for extra bases in this inning. Third on the evening for Elyria. And Jared, he got that one up into the jet stream. We were talking about it before, the flag in right field. You can see it's been consistently blowing out. He almost pushed that out of here.
And right field is where you want to hit it if you want to try to get one over this fence, Andy. And Chevalier single in the first, double here in the third, trying to hit for the cycle, it looks like. And Elyria has their hitting shoes on here today.
There's Rocco Schneider. Hits this in the air. Second baseman Joey Hall is there to take care of it. And that's out number 2. seeing a lot of first pitch strikes from Tracy Huff. Just continuing to attack the zone, and you can be aggressive when you're working with a 3-run lead.
And I think if you're Elyria here, if you see a pitch you like, go out and swing it. I see too many guys, they take the first pitch, and it's like, why? You're giving him a free strike. You want to get a view of the pitcher when you're in the on-deck circle in the dugout. I don't understand why hitters sometimes take the first pitch, but Elyria's not doing that here today.
Curveball called strike 1 on Steve Mayer. That was another big point of emphasis from Coach Connell. He said they're certainly getting better at that. He said, I want our guys to become a little more aggressive at the plate. And he said it starts with the approach in the on-deck circle. Off speed, swung on and missed for strike 2.
Coach Connell wants them to attack the fastballs earlier in the count. If it's a fastball right down the middle, first pitch, go ahead and swing. You put the ball in play, good things will happen.
Especially early in the year. The 0-2 ground ball hit right back to the mound. It's picked up by Tracy Huff. He'll run it to the bag himself to record that out unassisted, and the inning is over. Elyria does respond with a couple of runs here in the third, but they trail Lorain 7-4 after 2.5. It's live and free on YouTube on the Lorain County Sports Network.
Oh, wow.
Home half of the third, Lorain looking to add to this 3-run advantage. They're on top of Elyria 7-4. It'll be Preston Whitfield to lead things off. He'll be followed by Jacob Rivera and Brandon Perez. Facing Harlem Mallory. Mallory is yet to surrender a hit in this game, even though the Pioneers do have 7 runs in the contest. Whitfield will walk his first time through the order. Takes one down low for ball 1, and that's really been the theme of this game. Hey, boy, Mallory's got some good stuff. He's run into a little bit of trouble with the command every now and again. Whitfield shows bunt, gets it down between the plate and the mound. Picked up by Mallory, throws to first base, and he fires a pellet down to first to get Whitfield. What a throw by Harlem Mallory.
Mallory did a good job not hesitating, taking his time on that throw, throwing a strike to the first baseman. Chevalier getting the first out of the inning.
Well, and 2 things stand out there. Number 1, an outstanding throw, but a great job, too, of getting off the mound, jumping off the hill to get down there and pick that ball up, and then getting himself in a position to make that great throw. First pitch cut out and missed for a strike. Jacob Rivera, the batter. Rivera walked and scored in Lorain's 7-run second. 0-1 delivery, swing and a miss, strike 2. You're seeing Harlem Mallory just pump the strike zone here. He's ready very quickly. The 0-2 bounced in front of the plate.
I think he's coming out with an edge in this third inning after giving up some runs in the second.
Yeah, you're right. And there's a difference in his pace here in the early stages of the third. A swing and a miss, strike 3. It's 4 punch-outs for Harlem Mallory. He's able to get Jacob Rivera on 4 pitches. Bases empty, 2 down for Brandon Perez. First pitch to Perez. It's low for a ball. Brandon Perez, strikeout victim his first time up. Mallory's ready with the 1-0. And it's an off-speed pitch that misses low and in. As the catcher, he's been really busy in this one. These games, I would imagine, are a little tougher than some of the others to catch. Swung on and missed for a strike.
Catcher is just a tough job in general. You are the backbone of this infield, blocking balls, framing, everything.
Mallory misses down too low for ball 3. And, you know, you've got control of the game and you're involved in every aspect of it. So in that respect, you know, you're always moving, you're always thinking. 3-1 pitch at the knees for a called strike. He stuffs the count full on Perez. And I guess in high school it's not as big of a deal. You've got that looseness in all your limbs and joints. Payoff pitch, pop foul and out of play. That'll go behind us.
I gotta cherish that. Soon, when they get older, limbs won't be like that anymore.
Right. That goes away at some point. There's a shelf life on that. 3-2 one more time. Swing and a miss, strike 3. What an inning for Harlem Mallory. He's got a handful of strikeouts, fanning 2 here in the third, a 1-2-3 frame. We'll head to the fourth in just a moment with Elyria trailing Lorain 7-4 here at the Pipe Yard, live and free on YouTube on the Lorain County Sports Network. Maurice Stone will lead things off for the Elyria Pioneers here in the top of the fourth inning. Elyria down 3, 7-4 to the Lorain Titans. Maurice Stone, Cody Stipe, and J.J. Bucky, the 9-1-2 batters, due up to face Tracy Huff. Huff has allowed 4 runs on 7 knocks in this game. 4 of those hits came in Elyria's 2-run first inning, and then they had a couple of extra base hits in the third. An RBI triple for Nate Taylor, and then a double from Ryan Chevalier. He's Jared Vinecourt. I'm Andy Bullbarch. Happy to call this one for you on the Lorain County Sports Network, live and free on YouTube. Maurice Stone 0 for 1 with the ground out his first time up. Tracy Huff deals a swing and a miss for strike 1. Today's game brought to you by Linda Weber for Judge. The pitch. Ground ball hit right back toward the mound. Backhand pick made by Tracy Huff. Underhand flip to first base gets there in plenty of time to retire Maurice Stone. A quick 2-pitch out recorded by Huff. He's only at 40 pitches in this game.
And even though he is a pitcher, he's getting a lot of action fielding as well. He's got 3 putouts on the day.
You kind of want that, though, right? When it's a little bit chilly out there.
Yeah, keeping your pitcher warm. Yeah.
Although he's in the sun, and he doesn't even have sleeves on right now. First pitch hit sharply on the ground, but fouled down that third baseline.
And some pitchers are different. Some wear sleeves in the cold, some don't. They think it ruins their arm angle or their velocity or whatever the case may be. If they can power through the cold, be my guest. But I don't care if I'm pitching or not. I'm wearing something to keep myself warm.
Although he's got a sleeve on one arm and he doesn't have one on the other. Then again, he's standing in the sunshine, and as we've detailed before, it's a different ballgame in the sun. They'll set up away. Next pitch to Stipe. Breaking ball called strike 2. Stipe has had a really nice day at the dish. Couple of hard hit balls, a single to center, and then he doubled over the head of the center fielder, Jaxiel Calaza. Huff in the driver's seat. 0-2 on the way. Tried to get him with a backdoor breaking ball, but Stipe did not take the bait.
Good take by Stipe there. Didn't chase that outside door breaking ball.
And it was somewhat similar to the pitch that he just saw. Just a little further off the plate. 1-2 pitch. This is lined into left field, base hit. Hung him a breaking ball, the 1-2, and Stipe did not miss the opportunity to lace that into left field. 3 hits for Cody Stipe at the top of this Elyria batting order.
Stipe locked in at the plate. 3 for 3 on the day.
J.J. Bucky, the batter now. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground up. Tracy Huff. Ready with his hands at the belt. Pitch is hit in the air. Right field on the charge. Noah Bennett, he can't get there. That'll drop for a base hit. Cody Stipe will stop at second. Bucky has his first hit of the game. 2 on, 1 down for Harlem Mallory.
Mallory's been on base both times today and has come around to score. Exactly the man you want to be up here at the plate right now for the Pioneers.
You get the impression in this one that while that 7-run second inning was certainly a real big shot in the gut for Elyria, the Pioneers aren't going away in this one as they've just continued to chip away.
And there's still a lot of ball game left.
Breaking ball, cut on and missed for strike 1. And as deflating as that second inning was, they came back with an answer right away with 2 runs, and here they are going to work with their bats again with back-to-back one-out hits from the top of their order. Harlem Mallory has reached both times up today. The next pitch is tapped foul. Got a piece of that one, sending it right back toward the backstop. But now it's 0-2 on Mallory.
And this is an Elyria team that's still trying to find themselves offensively. The most runs they've scored this season is 6, and that was at the beginning of the year when they faced Firelands.
Decent lead at second for Cody Stipe. Next pitch is hit in the air, left field. Rivera coming on and left. He can't make the catch. Dove forward, the ball hit off his glove. Rounding third, Stipe, he'll try to score, and he will get there standing up. The ball was picked up with a shortstop, Derek Encarnacion. But by the time Encarnacion had gotten to that, Stipe was halfway between home and third, and he scored easily. So Harlem Mallory is aboard. Jacob Rivera tried to dive and make that catch. And the Pioneers have a little something cooking here. Down 7-5 now after that RBI base hit, and they've got runners on first and second with one away for Nate Taylor.
Great effort by Rivera there in left field trying to make the diving catch. And I still think the shortstop, Encarnacion, still had a chance at the plate, but he didn't want to risk of making a bad throw so the runners could advance another base.
Coach Turnus had mentioned to us yesterday one of the reasons he loves Huff and the things he's been able to do this year is he's been able to really extend some of his outings and they're not crazy experienced in that bullpen. They have a lot of guys they're still trying to develop. So it's of the utmost importance that they get some length out of Huff. Breaking ball, tapped foul, third base side. And in a game like this, you've got to hang on to them as long as you possibly can. Now just a 2-run game. They're up 7-5 in the fourth inning. But it's a game that, Jared, you just kind of get the feeling that the momentum is really beginning to shift.
Especially third time through the order. You've already seen Huff pitch twice. You already got a feel for him.
Ground ball hit foul, third base side, right through that third base coach's box.
You have to wonder how long head coach of the Lorain Titans, Brad Turnus, is going to keep in Huff this third time through the order.
They've had some success that third time through, and they've hit the ball fairly well today. Time was called at the plate by the batter, Nate Taylor. An RBI triple for him, his last time up. Put it over the head of Rivera in left field, went all the way to the wall, and then later on he would come around and score an errant throw. Huff with a fastball taken up high. Count goes to 1-2 on Nate Taylor. He's tried that approach before, raising the eye level. Bucky at second, Mallory at first. 1-2, and that one is rolled foul. Both of these teams will be busy over the next 48 hours, as will many others in the area, trying to take advantage of some rising temperatures before the rain comes back to the area again on Saturday. 1-ball, 2-strike pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Elevated an off-speed pitch. It's a big strikeout for Tracy Huff. He's got 3. And with 2 down, it'll be up to Braden Barbie to try and keep this fourth inning alive for Elyria.
Barbie did have an RBI single back in the first. He's looking to replicate that right now. Chip away at this Titans lead.
The pitch to Barbie. Curveball misses down too low for a ball, and it was his single to right field that plated Cody Stipe. It gave Elyria a 1-0 lead. They would add on to that with an RBI base hit from Chevalier in the first before Lorain put up 7 in the second to take the lead. They've yet to look back, but their lead has been cut to 2. The next pitch is grounded down to first base. It's picked up by Preston Whitfield. He'll bring it to the bag to record the out unassisted, and the inning is over. So the Pioneers do continue to chip away at this deficit. Harlem Mallory with an RBI base hit to score Cody Stipe makes it 7-5. Titans still lead this one by a pair halfway through the fourth. Live and free on YouTube on the Lorain County Sports Network. Bottom of the fourth inning. Lorain leading 7-5 over Elyria. Jaxiel Calaza, Derek Encarnacion, and Tracy Huff due up. The 9-1-2 batters will swing away for the Titans against Harlem Mallory. 3 innings of work for him. To our record, still has not recorded a hit yet. Walks have been a bit of an issue. He's also struck out a handful in this game. First pitch up high, but he went after it with a bunt attempt, did Calaza, so it's strike 1. Jaxiel Calaza, a big fan of Frankie Lindor. Well, I guess we all were around here about 4 or 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Many of us still are. He takes an knee-high fastball called strike 2. He's also a fan of the Yankees.
Now that I can't get around.
He probably catches a little bit of heat for that, doesn't he? Fouls the next one right back to the screen, staying alive here.
Every Yankees fan gets heat every day. Doesn't matter if it's baseball season or not.
Calaza, after high school, said he wants to be an engineering electrician, and he strikes out, making him the 6th victim of Harlem Mallory this afternoon. So Calaza down on strikes. And that takes us back to the top of the order for Derek Encarnacion. Encarnacion is another guy in the Frankie Lindor camp, as the first one makes him bend backwards and out of the way. It starts at 1-0.
But he likes the other New York team, the Mets.
I guess that makes sense, right? This is hit pretty sharply on the ground toward third. Picked up by Nate Taylor. He'll throw over to first base, and they'll retire Encarnacion for the second out of the inning. So a couple of quick ones recorded by Harlem Mallory. Bases empty, 2 down now for Tracy Huff.
We've talked about Huff's accolades offensively and defensively. He would like to play college baseball. He's a senior right now, and he also loves nature. I don't think he loves the nature right now, but I'm sure in the summer and in the fall time, absolutely.
Mallory twirls the first one to Huff. This is spoiled foul to the left side and way out of play. Huff reached on a walk in the first inning, then struck out looking in the second. Mallory delivers. This is chopped down to first base, picked up right along the line at first, and stepping on the bag is Ryan Chevalier to end the inning. A lightning quick home half of the 4th for Harlem Mallory. 3 up, 3 down. At the end of 4, it's Lorain 7 and Elyria 5. It's live and free on YouTube on the Lorain County Sports Network. Top half of the 5th inning, Elyria trailing Lorain 7-5. The Pioneers were down 7-2 in this game, but they've been able to chip away the last couple of innings. Ryan Chevalier will lead things off, followed by batters 7 and 8 in the order, Rocco Schneider and Steve Mayer. Facing Tracy Huff in 4 innings of work. He has allowed a handful of runs on 8 hits to this point. Chevalier has 2 of those hits, an RBI single and a double to right field. First pitch, a breaking ball, called strike 1, kept that one in the outer half.
And as we're moving along through this game, I notice Huff using the curveball a lot more. Get me over curveball, first pitch strike.
His 0-1 is hit in the air, foul off to our right. That'll end up in the parking lot. He's Jared Vinecourt, Mandy Bullbarch, Edwin Marine, our director today, and David Q working the camera. It's a chilly afternoon here at the Pipe Yard. 0-2, ground ball hit sharply toward short. Encarnacion will pick it up and fire over to first base. A high throw, however, Preston Whitfield able to keep his foot on the bag, and they'll get the out. A defensive change for the Lorain Titans. Jalen Williams has checked in at second base, replacing Joey Hall.
And he could come into relief. We'll see if that is the case here today for the Titans. Also a pitcher for them.
Rocco Schneider 0 for 2 with a fly out to left and a pop out to second. Tracy Huff deals. Good looking breaking ball for a called strike, and that goes right back to what you said. You're starting to see more breaking pitches early on in the count from him.
Especially on the first pitch. If you can sit on that, it can go a long way.
He's been able to spot that very well. The next pitch is chopped down to third, picked up foul by Xavier Carrion. The aggressiveness of the Elyria bats, something that we referenced earlier. A lot of first pitch strikes too from Tracy Huff. He's been able to keep that pitch count relatively low. By my count, this will be his 61st of the day. Didn't miss by much on that one. Down and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's a really good location on an 0-2 pitch.
And a good take by Schneider as well. Those borderline pitches, hard to dictate sometimes.
Setting up on the inner half. Breaking ball swung out and missed for strike 3. Dropped third strike. Picked up by the catcher Perez. He'll toss down to first to retire Schneider. 4 strikeouts for Tracy Huff. And with 2 away, nobody on for Steve Mayer. What also stands out to me, 62 pitches. Jared, he's thrown 51 strikes.
That's unbelievable. Great strike rate.
Steve Mayer backs off on a pitch that missed in, too tight for a ball. The shadows very slowly starting to come into play here. Now covering the area just out in front of home plate. Fastball misses down low for ball 2. Although you hear it, it doesn't make as big of a difference until it really starts to cover the dirt area right out in front of home plate. It's not quite there just yet. When it gets to the infield grass, that's when you start to notice the difference. 2-0, swung on and missed.
We could get to that point by the 7th inning, but like you said, Andy, not there quite yet.
Huff has gotten himself into a bit of a groove here. He delivers, swung on and tapped foul. That got a piece of the catcher, Brandon Perez, and it's 2-2. The deuces are wild here on Steve Mayer. An error allowed him to reach back in the second, and then he hit a ground ball right back to Tracy Huff that ended the top of the third. Lorain leads Elyria 7-5. Bases empty, 2 down, top 5. This is hit pretty sharply on a line into center field, base hit. A 2-out single for Steve Mayer. So the hit parade continues for the Pioneers, and they keep this top of the 5th inning alive for the 9-hole hitter and DH Maurice Stone. Well, they've got 3 guys now with multi-hit games this afternoon. The pitch from Huff is hit in the air, shallow left field. Jacob Rivera charging and makes the catch. Lost his hat in the process, charging toward the line, but he's able to put it away, and that wraps up the top of the 5th inning. The Pioneers get a 2-out base hit from Steve Mayer, but nothing more. After 4 1/2, it's Lorain 7 and Elyria 5, live and free on YouTube on the Lorain County Sports Network. Lorain 7, Elyria 5, bottom of the 5th inning here at the Pipe Yard on the Lorain County Sports Network. Xavier Carrion will lead things off for the Titans, Noah Bennett, and then Jalen Williams to follow against the lefty Harlem Mallory. He's been pretty good so far tonight with the exception of that 7-run second. First pitch to Carrion. He hits this one in the air to center field. Steve Mayer moving forward, loses his hat, and he's still able to put it away with the forehead high catch. And we will very quickly have one away. Andy Bullbarch on the call, joined alongside Jared Vinecourt, Edwin Vereen, our director today, David Q on the camera. Today's game sponsored by Linda Weber for Judge. Our thanks to Linda Weber for sponsoring this one here on the Lorain County Sports Network so we could bring it to you from the Pipe Yard. Fastball up high for a ball on Noah Bennett. Mallory working quickly. His next pitch, a fastball, blew it right by Bennett for a strike.
And after that second inning hiccup, Mallory has been locked in and has had a rhythm from the get-go.
The next pitch is hit on the ground to short. Scooped up there by Cody Stipe. He'll send it over to first base for out number 2. And you're right, there's, I don't want to call it more of a sense of urgency, but there's certainly an uptick in the pace. I mean, he's ready to come to the plate. He's not laboring at all on the mound. He's ready with that next pitch and just seems like he's more in sync with his catcher, J.J. Bucky.
And he has retired the last 5 hitters.
Jalen Williams, with his first at bat, fouls it right back to the screen. Actually checked that. It is still Joey Hall here, even though Williams took a spot at second base. Hall hits this in the air to center. Steve Mayer takes a few steps forward, and he'll make the catch to make it a second straight 1-2-3 frame produced by Mallory. We head to the 6th inning, still 7-5. Lorain on top of Elyria on the Lorain County Sports Network. Elyria trailing 7-5 to Lorain as we enter the top of the 6th inning. They've got the top of their order due up. Cody Stipe, J.J. Bucky, and Harlem Mallory to face Tracy Huff. Huff with 68 pitches, 55 strikes. But he's facing a top of the order, which has certainly given him some trouble. Cody Stipe at the forefront of that. Jared, he's 3 for 3.
He's done exceptional here today, and he's gotten hits where it's been a pitcher's count. In the hole 1 and 2, he's still able to find a way to get on base.
Huff trying to protect this 2-run lead. Starts him off with an off-speed pitch up and away for a ball. Appreciate all those of you out there tuning into this one on the Lorain County Sports Network, live and free on YouTube. Here's the 1-0. This is chopped foul, and it's a ball and a strike. Want to remind you that coming your way a week from this Friday and Saturday, we will be live at the Priebus Tournament. Lots of softball action coming your way. We've got 1 game a week from Friday, and then we'll have a triple header for you a week from Saturday at Victory Park in North Ridgeville. 1-1 to the plate, a cut and a miss for strike 2. We were hoping to have a triple header of baseball for you about 2 weeks back here at the Pipe Yard, but Mother Nature had other ideas and acted on those, raining on our parade. Huff deals, ground ball hit toward short. Encarnacion will charge it, pick it up and throw on a first base. He gets a nice assist from Preston Whitfield at first base with a real nice stretch to get the out. So they retire Stipe for the first time today. And in comes J.J. Bucky. J.J. Bucky able to single himself aboard, and the base hit to right field back in the 4th. Huff's first pitch is hit in the air, high and deep to left. Joey Hall going back, and he's able to put it away just in front of the warning track. J.J. Bucky really gave that baby a ride to deep left field, but Hall was able to catch up to it.
And if that's on a summer day in July, that's probably over the fence. Everyone's hearts stop for a sec if you're a Lorain Titans fan here at the Pipe Yard.
He put a real nice swing on that, and you're right. Give it a couple of months, there's probably no way that's staying in the yard. Here's Harlem Mallory. He's reached all 3 times up today. First pitch is chopped on the first baseline, picked up foul. Lorain now 4 outs away from making it 3 consecutive victories after starting the year at 0-6. Took care of business against Garfield Heights the last 2 afternoons. Breaking ball, missed low, went away to even the count. And Coach Turnus had mentioned, look, we played some pretty good competition at the beginning of the year with hopes that that would toughen us up when we got a little bit deeper into conference play. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Mallory a hit in the first inning, then he singled home a run in the 4th. In between there, he was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd. Tracy Huff's 1-2. Down too low. Deuces are wild here on Mallory. Nate Taylor hoping for a 2-out opportunity. He's in the on-deck circle. 7-5 lead for the Titans. 2-2. It's chopped foul that hit off the mask of the catcher, Brandon Perez. Will do it again.
Mallory just got a piece of that off the end of the bat.
Both of these programs are in a position, where they're trying to grow. They're trying to get more numbers. And I know that was a point of emphasis in our conversation with the coaches at the Coaches Show back at Smitty's place a few weeks back. They're still in that stage where they're trying to expand their horizons and get more kids to show up. 2-2 curveball, spoiled foul. I thought it was interesting talking with Coach Connell of Elyria. And he had said, last year I was able to put a freshman team together just by kind of walking around the hallways and convincing kids to come out and play and try it out either for the first time or for the first time in a while. Breaking ball hit in the air to center field. Jaxiel Calaza takes a few steps forward to make the catch, and the inning is over. So the Pioneers go down in order here in the top of the 6th inning after 5.5. It's Lorain 7 and Elyria 5, live and free on YouTube on the Lorain County Sports Network. Seven of 5 Titans, bottom half of the 6th inning. Lorain will have Preston Whitfield, Jacob Rivera, and Brandon Perez due up. That's the scheduled 3 to face Harlem Mallory. Mallory has really gotten into a nice rhythm. He has retired 9 Titans in a row. Whitfield 0 for 1 with a walk. He'll look at one down low for a ball.
If you're Lorain here, you want to get some insurance runs. You're up 7-5 going into the 7th. You'd like to have more than a 2-run lead.
Mallory deals. Whitfield hits this one in the air toward right center field. Mayer and Schneider both going after it. It's the center fielder, Steve Mayer, who makes the catch. So make it 10 in a row now, retired by Mallory. To get back to what we were talking about just before that last half inning ended with, both coaches mentioning trying to improve the numbers. Coach Connell at Elyria mentioned he put that freshman team together just by walking around the halls and trying to get these kids to expand their horizons. He said, a lot of these guys, they wanted to just play one sport. And I told him, look, you got to do more than just play one sport. Expand those horizons a little bit. And he referenced, his experience. He was a multi-sport athlete at Elyria. Obviously was crazy successful doing it. The 1-0 pitch, way up high, ball 2.
And he has a lot of multi-sport athletes on the team. He had a swimmer last year. This year he has a bowler. And it's nice when you're a former alumni and you work in the district to recruit kids to come play baseball for Elyria. This is a team a couple years ago in 2022, they had 16 wins. So they're capable of having a successful season. They just, like you said, Andy, need the numbers.
Now the 2-1. It's a bit too low. And a hitter's count facing Lorain Titans, who needed some base runners and some momentum offensively. Haven't been able to get it because Mallory's been that good the last few innings. Next pitch is called, strike 2. Jalen Williams occupying this spot in the order that was previously occupied by Jacob Rivera. It's up high for ball 4. So Jalen Williams is on with the free pass. They've got a man on with one away now for Brandon Perez. That's the first base runner since Joey Hall reached on that 2-out error, going all the way back to the 2nd. A swing and a miss. Started him out with an off-speed pitch, and Perez was way out in front. What a turnaround and what a response. After a 7-run inning, Harlem Mallory has just been awesome. A swing and a miss once again for strike 2. He struck out Brandon Perez twice in this game, got him swinging both times. They got a half dozen strikeouts from Mallory. Quick look over to first base, a throwback over there, doesn't get there in time. And they actually called a balk. So they have called a balk, and that will put Williams on second.
I believe he didn't fully step to first base. I believe he stepped at an angle, and that's what caused the balk. Head coach Jordan Connell is going to go talk it over with the home plate umpire.
I was hoping that your umpiring expertise would come into play there, and it certainly did. I think you're spot on. You know, reading lips here from both Coach Connell and our home plate umpire, Todd Miller, that's exactly what they went over, and Coach Connell was completely content with the explanation that he got.
And that's another play that the field umpire can't see because he's in the B position. If he's in the A position in foul territory at first base, then he's able to see that.
And look, when you're sitting over on that right side of the infield, the sun becoming a bit of a factor. You can see the first baseman, Ryan Chevalier, actually shielding himself with his first baseman's glove. So it's tough when you're on that side of the infield. It can be difficult to see things looking back at the mound. Mallory's next pitch misses down too low. Lorain would love a little bit of extra breathing room. They were once up 7-2. Elyria has tacked on 3 since, now only trailing by a pair. 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. Up and away, the count runs full.
That was a very close take by Perez. Just missing the high fastball as Mallory.
Jalen Williams in scoring position at second base. And Perez will like some extra time as he steps out of the box at home plate. Second baseman Braden Barbie keeping the runner close at second. Payoff pitch fouled right back to the screen. This has turned out to be an entertaining battle between these two. Obviously a ton of history between these two schools. 2 looks to second, and the payoff pitch. Ground ball hit toward short, ranging to his right. Cody Stipe, he'll step and throw over to first base. It brought the first baseman Chevalier off the bag, but he's able to put the tag on Brandon Perez to get the out. Williams has to stay put at second base. That ball was hit in front of him on the left side of the infield, so he couldn't advance. So here's the 9-hole hitter, and Jaxiel Calaza. Calaza's way behind at a fastball for strike 1.
Calaza 1 for 2 on the day, had an RBI single back in the second. Would he love to add to the Lorain lead here?
It's low and inside, 1-1 the count on Calaza. Encarnacion at the top of the order. Swinging away in the on-deck circle. Mallory's next pitch is fouled off the screen in front of that Lorain dugout, situated on the third base side here at the pipe yard. Temperatures in the mid to high 40s for this one. Conditions that are usually a little tougher to hit in. Mallory twirls the 1-2. It's outside. Can't say enough about his resiliency here today. Some costly 2-out errors and free passes in the second haunted him, but he's responded very well the last few innings. Fastball misses up high, and the count will go full on Calaza. He had retired 10 in a row after that 7-run second. The next pitch called strike 3. Backwards K for Harlem Mallory. Give him 7 strikeouts on the evening. Well, the Titans leave one stranded at second here in the 6th inning. We head to the 7th. Still 7-5. Lorain leads Elyria here at the pipe yard. Live and free on YouTube on the Lorain County Sports Network. It's now or never for the Elyria Pioneers. They trail the Lorain Titans 7-5 as we enter the top of the 7th. They've got the heart of their order due up. Batters 4, 5, and 6, Nate Taylor, Braden Barbie, and Ryan Chevalier. They'll take on Tracy Huff in 6 innings of work. He's allowed 5 runs on 9 knocks, but he has hammered the strike zone. 80 pitches, 64 strikes. Huff has been pretty sharp, and Elyria's been pretty aggressive. Here's Nate Taylor. He's 1 for 3. First pitch is grounded down the first baseline, foul.
I thought for a second that was going to trickle back into fair play off the end of the bat.
In this one, you mentioned Elyria getting a lot of production from the top of the order. They've been getting a pretty hefty chunk of production from the middle as well. We mentioned Taylor's RBI triple, Braden Barbie an RBI single, 2 hits from the 6-hole hitter Chevalier as well. The 0-1 bounces in front of home plate. Elyria trailed 7-2 at the end of 2, but slowly chipping away at this lead. The 1-1, a chopper hit down to third. Encarnacion will pick it up and fire across to first. They'll get it there just in time for out number 1. It's a nice smooth play made by Xavier Carrion over at third base. Didn't rush, got a nice little chest-high hop, and fired a pellet over to first base.
And Whitfield definitely stretching out his legs here today at first base.
Well, that extra effort certainly helps.
It's like he didn't pull a hammy.
Easy to do on a day like today. Here's Braden Barbie. Barbie has a hit and 3 trips to the dish. Tracy Huff's first pitch, cut on and missed for a strike. Today's game on the Lorain County Sports Network brought to you by Linda Weber for Judge. Huff acknowledges Brandon Perez, and he comes to the plate with the 0-1. Another swing and a miss for strike 2. Took something off at that time. Barbie out in front. Singled into right field to score Cody Stipe back in the first inning. Since then, a strikeout and a ground out to Whitfield at first. Fastball taken up high. Now the Shadows have really kind of moved past home plate. They're now sitting on the right side of the box, or rather the left-handed hitting side of the box, and slightly behind it. The shadows of that grandstand just kind of snuck right in behind home plate.
And you get an interesting angle with the trees as well.
Huff's 1-2, breaking ball grounded past the left side of the mound. Encarnacion picks it up at short. Throw to first base, gets there in time. It's not an easy play for Encarnacion in short. And again, that ball wasn't hit sharply either, so he really had to come in to pick that up to the left side of the mound and made a real nice throw to first. So now the Pioneers are down to their final out. It'll be up to Ryan Chevalier. He's 2 for 3. Tracy Huff's first pitch. He swings and misses for strike 1. Actually got a small piece of that, pounding it foul into the turf. Can Tracy Huff go the distance and secure Lorain's 3rd consecutive victory? He's 1 out away from getting it. Breaking ball down too low, and it's 1-1. We talked a lot about how Harlem Mallory had really settled in. How about Tracy Huff? These last few innings, he's been terrific.
It has been a pitcher's battle since the start of the 3rd inning.
Breaking ball called strike 2, and now the Pioneers down to their final strike. Huff has retired 7 in a row. The pitch. It's upstairs. Over the last 3 innings, he's allowed just a single to Steve Mayer and nothing more. 7-5, Lorain leading Elyria. Nobody on, 2 out, top 7. In comes the 2-2. Hit in the air. Right center field. Colaza, Bennett coming together, and the catch is made by the center fielder, Jaxiel Colaza, and that will bring this one to a close. Make it 3 in a row for the Lorain Titans. They come away with a 7-5 win over the Elyria Pioneers. We'll step aside and take a quick timeout. We'll come back with the player of the game and much more to wrap this one up. Live and free on YouTube on the Lorain County Sports Network. 7-5, our final count here today at the Pipe Yard in Lorain, live and free on YouTube on the Lorain County Sports Network. Lorain, a winner over Elyria, 3 in a row now for the Lorain Titans. And our player of the game is Tracy Huff, an outstanding performance, 7 strong innings. And Tracy, congratulations on being a player of the game. We got a bat for you to sign before you head out of here today. Let's talk about that performance. I mean, really, those last few innings, you really seemed like you settled into a groove. You allowed just 1 base runner from that 5th inning on.
Yep.
What was the biggest difference for you in those last 3 innings?
I just felt like that we just got comfortable, good pitch calling by Brad, and then my catcher doing his job back there, and then my defense is strong back there. I love my defense, making the plays when we needed it and getting the outs when we needed it.
In the first inning, you gave up 2 runs, didn't start off like you had wanted to. How were you able to reset the mindset going forward after giving up those first 2 runs in the first inning?
It's the start of the game, so you don't want to get down too quick because, if we have a long game and it's a close game and you're out of your head, it's going to be bad, and I don't want to be in my head and then my team gets down also, so I got to be a leader and contribute to the team.
I would imagine pitching in these conditions is certainly something that you certainly don't mind. I mean, it's warmer than it was yesterday, but still a little bit chilly out there. You hear a lot of guys say they'd rather pitch in conditions like this because it's tough to hit, and it's tough to stay loose in these conditions. How much of that did that play to your aggressiveness here today?
Usually we play in this weather all the time here. The wind's always blowing here. So, when we have a turf field, and just especially if we have rain games and it's cold out here, it's good to practice out here too because we get used to the weather, and we know the batters don't like the cold because they're usually not used to the cold. So just come out here and just straight attack them every moment, every second of the way.
Yesterday when we caught up with Coach Turdis and he was telling us all about you and the things you had done this year, he said you can throw all 4 pitches for strikes, but you can also throw all 4 of those pitches of yours with a great deal of confidence. Where did you think that confidence level was from that first inning on?
I think it stayed the same, I was just in the moment, it's a great team. We got a great win against a great team. So just come out here, play our game, and, great win by us. So
you're one of the leaders on this squad. Your senior season, you've won 3 in a row now. What do you think has been the biggest takeaway from this 3-game winning streak and part of your leadership as well?
Disciplines, always disciplines. And, every time, when we was in the losing streak, we got down on ourselves, but it just snapped, So when we came out here, just got together, talked out what we had to do, and just did what we had to do. I love my teammates, loved them a lot, So we did a good job today.
Tracy, congratulations on being the player of the game. He went the distance, went all 7 in this one today. He's our player of the game. We got a bat for you to sign right behind you. Got a T-shirt as well. Tracy, thanks for joining us here postgame.
Appreciate it.
That's Tracy Huff, Lorain pitcher. 7 strong innings for him today. Gets his first win of the year. Goes to 1-2 on the season. He was on fire over the last few innings of this one. He allowed 1 base runner from the 5th inning on. Sat down 9 out of the last 10 batters he faced, including a nice little stretch there towards the end of the game where he retired 7 in a row. Well, what a pitching performance by Tracy Huff.
Yeah, what a pitching performance all day by both teams, especially by Tracy Huff, going the distance, 7 innings, and giving the victory for the Titans.
A 7-2 win over Elyria, 3 straight wins now for the Lorain Titans, and they're certainly starting to hit their stride. They played some tough competition at the beginning of the year, and now you're starting to see this team play with a lot more confidence.
And hopefully with a stretch where they'll be able to play on a consistent basis, because with rainouts at the beginning of April, they haven't been able to play on a consistent basis, haven't been able to get all the games they want to get in, and now hopefully they can do that with the second half of the month.
Let's welcome in Lorain head coach Brad Turdis. Coach, thanks for giving us a few moments of your time here, and let's start talking about this young man right here to kick things off. Well, he was outstanding here today. What was working so well for him in your mind?
He was battling the whole time. Elyria was a good hitting team. They came out and they were making contact the whole game. So after that first inning, Tracy and I, we talked a little bit. We changed our game plan a little bit. We started working a little bit more of the off-speed pitches. But like I talked to you earlier about yesterday, he threw all those for a strike today. He was able to command every one of his pitches in any count. So that's what really ended up working for us when we were able to change that game plan and give them a steady dose of the off-speed pitches.
He took a nice little water bath behind us. You know, we've talked a lot about Tracy and the great things he's done. Let's talk about some of the guys at the dish and behind him in the field as well. You guys did a great job of really working out the pitch count of Harlan Mallory. You guys put some really nice at-bats together. You know, who stood out to you offensively in this one?
I know Joey Hall hit the ball well. I remember one big play was on that bunt that I believe it was Jaxiel did where Joey Hall scored. That was a big momentum booster for us, especially because that was a big play at the plate that could have gone either way. He hustled and was able to beat the throw and get in there, and that kept our momentum and everything going for that big inning that we had.
You mentioned Jaxiel on the bunt, Xavier Carry-On, new additions to your team starting this week. What do those two additions mean for your squad?
Yeah, you know, they help a lot. You know, Xavier's definitely one of our most steady, consistent hitters as far as hitting for contact and hitting for power. So having his bat back in the lineup is great, and Jaxiel has the speed to go with it. So, I mean, having him back in center field and having that speed in the bottom of the lineup to get back to the top is awesome.
You know, they say that hitting is contagious, and sometimes you don't need to record a hit for the approach to be contagious. I think that's certainly reared its head in that second inning when you guys scored all 7 of your runs. Talk about the approach and how you think that confidence and that patience manifested itself to turn into a huge inning.
Yeah, you know, we did things a little bit different in that inning. We actually did a lot more hustling. We didn't matter when we, you know, popped a couple balls up that ended up falling. You know, we kept our heads down. We kept running, kept the inning going. Earlier in the year, some of the games that we played, we would have let that get to us. We would have pouted a little bit rather than having that hustle, and that hustle puts the pressure on the defense. So I was proud of the guys, the way that they had the mental approach to, you know, not get down on themselves, and they just kept at it.
And it certainly seems like you guys are playing with a newfound confidence also. In our conversation yesterday, you mentioned, look, early in the year, I scheduled some tough teams on purpose, knowing that was really going to test our guys and get them ready for this point in the season. Where do you think the confidence level is, and how do you think those early struggles help those guys out?
You know, it made our guys dig down deep and see what they're made of. You know, we kind of folded in a few situations in the earlier games where we were killing ourselves with the errors. Today we did have an error or two, I believe, but we didn't let it bother us. We were able to stick with it. Tracy was able to grind through it. He didn't let him affect him on the mound. You know, he would just come back and get the next guy. So I was proud of the way they did that today instead of letting that 1 or 2 errors compound and make us that huge bad inning that we've had earlier in the season.
You have Valley Forge this Saturday. You have some conference opponents next week, including a doubleheader here against Shaw, a day-night doubleheader. What are some things you want to take into those games into consideration?
You know, we need to keep cleaning up our defense. That's going to have to be, for us to win, we're going to have to be able to be solid defense. Hopefully our pitching staff's going to be able to come through. I know we talked yesterday, we don't have a whole lot of experience at the varsity level on our pitching staff, much beyond Tracy. So some of the other guys in our bullpen are going to have to step up to the occasion when we have our next few games, because obviously he's not going to be pitching again for another 4 to 5 days.
Yeah, you were able to squeeze every last ounce out of him here tonight. He was outstanding, just hammering the strike zone. And we didn't issue one single free pass in this one, and it seemed like he was ahead in most counts here today as well.
Yeah, you know, that was the one thing we talked about early was having that first pitch strike approach. We knew that we needed to get deep into the game with him on the mound for us to be successful, and he commanded the strike zone early. He stayed ahead, and the difference was keeping his pitch count down. I don't think he was even close, maybe not below 100, I think, still for the whole game. So, you know, he's capable of going above that, but I'm glad on a cold day that we were able to keep him below, and he was able to keep that down so that he could make it through the complete game and not even have to worry about a bullpen.
Great stuff. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us here post-game. Appreciate you guys having us out here at the Pipe Yard, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. I'm glad you guys were able to reschedule after our monsoon last weekend or whatever and get back out here for a game. So thanks.
Thanks. Thank you, Coach. It's Lorain coach Brad Turtis joining us here on the post-game show. 7-5 final tally this afternoon here at the Pipe Yard in Lorain. It's the Titans a winner over the Elyria Pioneers, live and free here on YouTube on the Lorain County Sports Network. That's going to wrap things up for us. You know, any final thoughts from you, Jared?
It was a great pitchers battle here today, and I'm looking forward to seeing what these teams do the rest of the way.
Time for us to go warm up, my friend.
Yeah, I'm doing my squats as I'm standing up, trying to stay warm.
Yeah, a lot of fun to be out here, though. This is our first go at it here on the Lorain County Sports Network for high school baseball. We had some fun with this one. It was chilly here behind home plate, but we had a lot of fun doing it. Our thanks to all of you who tuned into this one. Our thanks to Linda Weber for Judge for sponsoring this. We'd like to say thanks to both head coaches, Brad Turnus of Lorain, Jordan Connell of Elyria for helping us out, getting ready for this broadcast as well, getting us all the information that we need. We'd like to thank the entire broadcast team here. El Capitan, the director of our ship, Edwin Vereen. Cameraman David Q for putting in all the hard work. He's bundled up just like we are up here in the bleachers. My thanks to Jared Viancourt, my color analyst for the evening. For the entire broadcast team, this is Andy Bolbarch saying thanks again for tuning in. One final time, your final score. It's Lorain 7 and Elyria 5 here on the Lorain County